We'll have somebody that will call us and say, hey, I heard this tax strategy. We've had some RCPs on our podcast, and they call us up and say, I want to buy one of these just for the tax strategy. And we say, that's not the reason. We don't want to let the tax tail wag our investment dog, right?
So you're running this company now that's teaching other people how to do this. I'm curious, what are you telling them? Like, what's investing 101 for short-term rentals?
Yeah, one, we want to make sure this is the right asset class for somebody to invest in, right? Pros and cons of short-term rentals, they're a lot of fun to own. It's fun to have a portfolio of, properties in beach areas, mountain areas, areas that you would love to own a vacation home, I always tell people. So it's a really fun asset class to own. There is a little bit more time involved in this type of an asset than maybe buying an apartment complex or anything else, because you've got people that are moving in and moving out all the time. Now, we do hire full service property managers to deal with that, so we're not always dealing with that. But even on the front end, your acquisition is going to take you a little bit more time, especially the setup. You're furnishing all these properties, you're getting them all set up before somebody comes in. Those are tough things to outsource. And so until the property is handed over to the property manager, there's more time involved. And so we want to make sure it's the right asset class for somebody. But after that, we want to make sure that they walk into the game with their eyes wide open as well. It's not, I always tell people there's good properties and bad properties in almost every area. You really have to understand how to underwrite this type of an asset, because you could go into a great beach town. Let's say you go to, Destin, Florida, and you're like, hey, everybody's here has great homes and it's somewhere that everybody's going. Not all properties in Destin, Florida perform very well. And so some perform awesome, some don't. And there's some areas that don't. And so it's really understanding when we have somebody dive into this game and say, hey, let's get you walking into it with your eyes wide open from all aspects. Make sure, one, that this asset class fits your property goals and your lifestyle that you're trying to create. Two, sometimes we're talking about the tax. We'll have somebody that will call us and say, hey, I heard this tax strategy. We've had some RCPs on our podcast, and they call us up and say, I want to buy one of these just for the tax strategy. And we say, that's not the reason. We don't want to let the tax tail wag our investment dog, right? I mean, right. We don't want to make decisions just based on one thing like that. And so when somebody's interested in investing in, and I guess, some of that, those 22 years of learning and experience, it's you start to ask a little more questions and make sure that that this is the right fit for somebody.
Because I think there's a big difference between owning your own home and then buying investment real estate.
Huge.
When you're buying your own home, you're nesting. When you're buying investment real estate, it's about doors and windows.
Yeah.
And I'm often telling people think, well, I'll just go buy a place in this place that I love. Well, not everybody's going to love that place, and you might not get the return that you want.
Right.
So there is a real shift in mindset that has to happen around that, or they don't go in as a business owner. They go in as, I'm going to go find a second home and rent it out.
Right. Exactly.
Very different. Yeah.
Very, very different. And that's where understanding the asset that you're diving into. Like, I love real estate. I've always been in real estate. It's what I understand. It's what I love. I think it's a great tool for average everyday people to build wealth. I think I feel like that there's, but sometimes, especially when we're talking about single family rentals, and I see it mostly like on single family rentals, or now the short-term rentals are becoming so mainstream that they think, well, it's just a single family home. I understand that because I've already bought and sold 3 or 4 homes that I've lived in. That's totally different. You've got to treat it as its own investment tool.
Absolutely. I'm a financial planner. And so, I love real estate as part of an overall financial plan. It's just a phenomenal asset, but it is a high maintenance asset, and you really got to love it. But my clients who love it, boy, I show them, I can show them a statement with as many commas as you want of stocks and bonds, and their eyes glaze over. But boy, you show them $100,000 house, they're like, but I like it. That.
That would be me. Like, that's how I was like I have such a hard time with some of the other things. And one of my best friends, he's my financial planner, and every time, so I diversify our portfolio. We buy, stocks, and we have different things that we do. But I just have him do that for me because I have no interest. It's like but you show me properties, I'm like, I can look at that all day. So it's I guess I'm a unique breed, but I think I totally understand what you're talking about with some of your clients there.